Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today I want to talk about the new information that came out of Lavecon over the weekend. Now Lavecon is a community-run fantasy and science fiction convention with a very heavy focus on Elite Dangerous. Frontier were in attendance and they did a Q&A panel there. And they gave out a whole bunch of new information for the 2.4 update that's coming later this year. To start with then, let's talk about the improvements that are coming to salvageable wreckage as well as occupied cryopods. Now currently the way all that works in the game is that it's either illegal, in which case you have to sell it to the black market, or you can sell it to the regular commodities market. In the future then, the commodities market is no longer going to be involved in this process. Elite Dangerous lead designer Steve Kirby spoke about a new search and rescue contact that's coming in 2.4, and you can see some screenshots right here. So this will be available from the regular contacts menu, which is now starting to get quite busy. So here you can sell black boxes, wreckage components, occupied escape pods, personal effects, damage escape pods, and right at the bottom something new that's highlighted in red, hostages. Now the subject of hostages is perhaps worthy of an entire speculative discussion in and of itself, but the fact alone that there's a new component there would suggest to me that this menu is more than just a simple reorganization of existing gameplay. Now this is further backed up by the completion target bar at the top there, 50% here and 100% here. So a search and rescue effort then, with a set target and agenda. So it seems very clear at this point that the new search and rescue agent is about a lot more than just selling the random black boxes and escape pods that you find. Lead programmer Mark Allen spoke about something that many people have been asking for a very long time, and he confirmed that it's going to be in patch 2.4. This is repair limpets. Now these will be able to repair your ship's hull at any place in space, so they're going to be a massive boon for deep space explorers as well as perhaps people in combat as well. Now you can use them to repair your own ship, but you can also use them to repair other people's ships as well. Now on top of that, there's going to be some new synthesis recipes put into the game. We don't know all of them yet, but we do know that one of them is going to be a limpid synthesis, so when you're out there in the depths of space, you'll be able to manufacture these from the materials that you can collect. So this basically means that, barring any dramatic accidents, deep space explorers should be able to stay out there indefinitely. I'm also curious how effective these will be in combat. It does depend on how fast they can repair your ship, and I'm sure it will also depend on whether or not your ship needs to be stationary for them to do their job. Senior producer Adam Woods spoke about new changes to the inbox. Now currently the inbox is a little bit of a mess, it's very difficult to actually use or find anything, so the changes here are going to be immensely helpful. There's a new filter system, and additionally messages from the same contact about the same subject will be grouped together, and we can see that in the screenshot here where there's 4 parts to this particular mission. Now this is particularly interesting because it suggests there may be some changes to the way some mission works. Now currently you can be offered a mission whilst in deep space, although it does happen quite rarely. And the way these messages are presented here might suggest that those missions will be much better structured. There was more talk which come in the form of confirmation that our current weaponry is going to be completely ineffective against Thargoids, and that goes for even the most engineered of ships. Now art director Chris Gregory showed off some new weapons, some new devices, as well as some new modules. Now he won't go as far as saying as to what exactly these weapons do or how to obtain them even. That said, there is quite a variety here, and this is quite possibly only a small selection of what's going to come. Now, completely understandably, this has led to some concern amongst many players as to whether or not all the work gone into their engineered ships is now completely wasted. However, judging from what Frontier have said over the previous days, that seems very unlikely. The current engineered ships will still remain very effective against other players, as well as against all current NPCs. The new weapons, modules and utilities are aimed squarely at dealing with Thargoids. My main concern is how we're going to obtain these. Is it going to be another massive grind? Personally, I'm hoping that Frontier have come up with a much better way to allow players to get these modules. That said then, it seems that with patch 2.4 there's going to be a lot of new content surrounding the Thargoids. Not just the Thargoids themselves, but new ways of dealing with them, and potentially new mission types as well. Now Frontier did also touch on the subject of the new crime and punishment system, a part of which is coming in 2.4. I don't know whether or not yet it's going to be fully implemented in 2.4, but one of these is a fix for the Sidewinder exploit. Now what people do here is use one of their large ships, an Anaconda or a cutter maybe, and they start attacking other players and accumulating a massive bounty. Now, bounties of this type are usually wiped on death, so what players are doing is jumping into a Sidewinder and self-destructing. This way then, the players are able to avoid the rebuy cost of their more expensive ships. Now, this is going to change, and as of 2.4, players are going to have to pay the rebuy cost of the most expensive ship they used on their crime spree. Now, how effective this is going to be, only time will tell, but personally I suspect that money isn't going to be much of a preventative measure against people committing crimes. After all, there are players with many billions of credits out there, and a few million on a rebuy cost is just a drop in the ocean. Frontier continue to insist that Elite Dangerous is very much about do what you want to do in the game, blaze your own trail and all the rest of it. However, there's not much of a good crime system within the game, and that goes for both sides of the coin, both for criminals as well as the victim. Now, criminals don't have much to gain out of it, and the target of the crime often feel let down because they know that the criminal is going to get off pretty much scot-free. The crime and punishment system is something that needs a lot of development, again on both sides of that coin. Hopefully that's something Frontier are aware of, and something we hear more details on closer to the launch of patch 2.4. Another change to the crime and punishment system is going to be the introduction of Pilots Federation bounties. Now, every player is a member of the Pilots Federation. That doesn't include NPCs, just players. So what's going to happen is that if you commit a crime against another player, you will also get a bounty from the Pilots Federation, and this will be a galaxy-wide bounty. It's going to be in addition to your regular bounty, and it's also going to be valid everywhere, so I assume that means it will also be valid in Anarchy systems. There's also going to be a change coming to the Rebuy menu. Now currently, if you end up at the Rebuy screen and you don't have enough money, then you have to go to a Sidewinder. This of course means you lose your ship, as well as all the modules that come with it. Now, as of 2.4, what you'll be able to do is use the ships that you've got dotted around the galaxy at other stations, as well as the modules, as collateral against the rebuy cost. Of course, this means that those ships and modules will then be sold, but it also means that you'll have a much better chance of paying off your current rebuy cost. So then, that's everything revealed at Lavecon, and it gives us a much broader indication of what patch 2.4 is going to be all about. The current release date of patch 2.4 is still set at the third quarter of this year. That then brings us to an end of this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.